as athletes and the people who are surrounding them that are behind the scenes that help them achieve the greatness that they achieve. This is for coaches, for players, for parents, for people who are the trainers of athletes, dietitians, special events individuals, people who may work with athletes on different personal levels, such as mental health coaches and things of that sort. So that's the reason for it is we want this podcast to be entertaining, we want it to be fun, we want it to also be informative, because there are some things that you may learn from individuals if you're interested in maybe having a career in some of these fields, or if you're a parent and may need to know kind of which way to go. If you're a coach, hearing what others' perspectives are and seeing how that influences your program and how you move in that program. And we'll talk about all that. So without further ado, I want to introduce my man, 100 Grand. Been down with this dude for a minute, man. It's been about, what, 15 plus?
15 plus.
Yeah, man. We've been knowing each other. Family's been around each other for a while, man. Been Ace Boon Coon for a little bit, man. And I'm just grateful that he's willing to even take time to do this and operate in this venture. So CB, introduce yourself to the people, man, and tell us just a little bit about your background with athletics.
Background, yeah. Well, he called me CB. Chris Brown, Coach Chris. My background in it, I always played sports. Both of my parents were athletes, so I inherited that. Good genetics, good genes. My dad played football and soccer. My mom ran track, basketball. So my aunts, uncles, everybody were athletes. So yeah. I guess it was just destined for me to be an athlete.
Yeah.
But I definitely played soccer and football, different levels of it through high school, into a little bit of college with it. So I always knew I wanted to be around it, coach somehow, if I wasn't playing professionally like everybody's dream was. But fortunately that didn't fall, that fell through. So my next avenue to stay close to it was getting into coaching and training. So worked for a little bit, worked at 24 Hour Fitness for a little while as a trainer. Mm-hmm. And then I decided in 2014 to just kind of step out on my own and train. Right. So independently become a trainer. My business is Arlington Elite Training.
Let's go.
So
no, shameless plug. Yeah, get that in there.
I'm gonna put that in, and training everybody. But here lately, in the last couple of years, it's been more geared toward the athlete, the youth athlete, whether it's football, track, soccer, volleyball. I just take them on, and I kind of lean toward the speed and agility, strength training, and just for the last couple of years, that's kind of where my heart has been in that. So.
Bad, man.
Just been an athlete the whole time, and it just was born out of that.
Yeah, so man, it's important to understand the foundation, because it's going to set up our conversation in a second to how this all kind of jumped off. So the next question I have for you is, during your athletic experience, was there anything that you can point to that you felt like really didn't go as you expected it to, and how did that affect you personally?
For me, it didn't go how I expected. One, because I just look now what the kids have available to them now. I don't think I had that.
Okay, what you mean?
So as far as the training, like we talked about the training of it, or either just not knowing about it, or just if your parents didn't have the money to train, or just know what to do and to take care of your body and your mind. Just taking care of physically what you need to do to become a athlete and perform at an optimal level. So a lot of that stuff I just didn't know about. So, and in turn, me trying to get to that level, it didn't happen with trying to take care of your body. I didn't take care of my body the right way. End up getting injured. Everything went from there. So
when did you get injured?
That happened. The injury actually came while I was playing football and soccer. The injury came while I was playing soccer.
Wow.
And I ended up turning some stuff up in the knee. Kept playing on it, because I was like, I'm not stopping. I got to keep playing, because if I don't play, somebody else going in, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Not even checking on it, and it just come to a point you become a senior. And then once they find out that injury, I'll never forget, we were in spring ball, and I'm sitting over there, and I got this brace on my knee, but I got my pants leg rolled up. I went to Dallas Carter, so you know how all the colleges is coming in that school in spring ball. They saw that, backed away. Wow. You can't be a running back with a knee injury. So, but me not being smart enough to know, hide that injury or don't show that, they seen that, they backed off. Yeah. So end up having to going from D1 stuff down to JUCO. You know what I'm saying? And then going to JUCO, and then just really not being in that mental space, knowing how to fight through that and tough that out. you end up. I know now I went through a little bit of depression about it.
Wow.
And then.
Okay, wait. So let's lay on that. I want to put to that point.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you know that's what was happening in that moment? Now, hindsight, what was it that you pointed to that said, "Oh man, I might be experiencing depression because of this"?
At that time, that's the thing.
Right.
You don't know.
Hindsight.
Because nobody was there to say, okay, you might be going through this.
Yeah.
There was no guidance.
Yeah.
I didn't have no guidance on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. I'm talking years later. Like as an adult, I figured out. Like looking back on it, like dang, why didn't it work? Then looking at it, like dang, I didn't know how to climb out of that hole because my whole thing was I'm being groomed to be a professional athlete. It was no plan B for me. Like they tell you to fall back on your education, but to me, I'm like, nah, I'm playing ball.
Right.
But when that don't happen, there was nothing else. There was nobody else to say, hey man, okay, that didn't happen. What's next for you?
Okay.
You can do it this. I didn't have that.
Got you.
Or I didn't know to look for that either.
Got you.
So
that's important, man, because again, it's a all-encompassing thing. When you're an athlete or you're a person who works in athletics, because again, a part of this is personalizing. So we want to refer to them as athletes, but we want to talk about the person behind the athlete. So when you're in that athletic arena, it seems like certain things only matter. And some things are put to the side, and it doesn't matter. And so part of this conversation is really kind of bringing to light some of those behind the scenes that happen that players like you, athletes who've been in your shoes are experiencing in real time right now. So let's fast forward a little bit, all right? So you experience that, you go through, your adult life, end up getting married, getting whatever, and then now you got a little one, all right? And I can't even say little one because dude ain't little no more. That's a dude back there. We'll talk about him, and that's what's getting us to this story because this is a part of the inspiration. So when did you see athletic prowess in your son? And by the way, who is your son? And when did you see it?
My son, y'all know him. If y'all know me, y'all know Xavier. It was very early on, and I'm not just saying this because it's my son. He had to be about 2. Because he started walking a little early, man. He was walking probably about, it was weird because he looked like he was this tall and he was walking already. And I think we were just seeing him walk around the house. He never had that little, you know how little kids, they move and it's real weird. He never had that. He was always, it looked smooth already. I think one day I was outside just working out in the summer and I was just doing some soccer drills and he was behind me. I didn't even notice it. I had the ball just kind of going through some cones, doing some agility work, and I looked behind me and he was doing the drill.
At 2?
About
around
2, getting ready to do 3.
Okay.
And I got video of him at 3.5, 4 doing ladders. But because I got video to support everything I'm talking about, so y'all know I ain't just blowing smoke about my son.
Yeah.
And I just looked behind me and he was just going through the drill. And I'm like, man, okay. So I gave him something else to do. I said, well, do this then. And sure enough, he did it. And I'm like, and he's doing it with good form.
Okay.
So, and I just would notice he'd run around the house and he always had that good form. He never was like, he unbalanced. He was always balanced. So he just naturally had that. He was just a natural athlete. So that's when I kind of knew that day when he was going through them drills behind me. That's when I know I'm like, okay, this kid athletic.
Yeah.
He got it. So that's when I knew about it.
Okay, so speed it up. So you see 2-3 prowess in him as he's gone from elementary school, middle school, high school. What kind of things did you do in order to cultivate that gift that you saw? So
once I noticed it, again, I'm getting into coaching now because now I'm not playing, trying to figure it out. So I started coaching soccer first. So we got a little rec team, and I get him on the team. So, but prior to that, every weekend we out there just training, just cause it's what I like, just training, and then I'm putting him through the paces. You know, I'm teaching them how to run, teaching them how to run the cones. And again, the way I coach on ability, not age.
Okay, so explain that.
So you can have, let's say you got some 7, 8-year-olds, but that one kid, he can hang with the 10-year-olds. I coach him on that. I don't keep him at the 7-year-old level if he can move up. See, with my son, I always played him up. So even he never played with his age group. I always played him with older kids. That's what I did, and it just makes him better. if you can do that. And some people need to stay on level.
Okay.
But he just happened to be the one I can play him up because he could hang. He was just that athletic and that fast. So started coaching that, but we stayed training. So I just made sure he got that extra work, not just at practice with the team. We always did extra. We always worked on stuff that I knew that I didn't get to work on, but I was gonna go ahead and get that to my son because I didn't have it.
So you used a pain point of your life
Yeah.
to push you and to help motivate you and how you approached your son.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you said the word team. What did you mean by team? What team or teams did your son play on? What sports did he do?
The first team was my soccer team. And then we went up when football season came, we started coaching football. So now he's playing both sports at the same time, on and off. So he's getting that training in soccer, and then he's playing football. So we was at the youth level. And then obviously after the youth level, we moved up to junior high. Now that became hard because now I'm not on the side and I can't coach him, and you got to turn him over to somebody else. But I was confident because I had already did the work from the time he was 2 to 3 all the way up until he was 12, 13 going into junior high. So I already knew what he was capable of and what he could do because we already trained. I've been training my son since he was 2 years old.
Got it.
So I already know, going through the paces of that, what his level was going to be.
So real quick, shoot out his resume as far as kind of some of the things that you say highlight. If you were to give his athletic resume, what are some things like that you point to say this shows proof that my son is that guy, that I recognize that athlete and the training that went together? I'm talking to all the sports he's ever done.
All right, so 3-sport athlete.
Okay.
Soccer, football, and track. With the soccer, we started in the rec level. We moved to academy soccer. This ain't YMCA. This is academy. For people who don't know what that is, if you don't follow soccer, it's the equivalent to AAU basketball or summer track. It's on level with that. So we went from the regular rec soccer to academy soccer. Then we got what we call select classic league soccer. So we went through that all the way up until I think we let it go after freshman year because now we were getting into track, was overflowing into it in high school and plus football. So we went from that to football, which he ended up with, all district team, kick return, DB corner, a little bit of receiver, and then again playing soccer in high school also. And then we move over to track, which this last year state finalists in relays, ran 100 meters, 200, and 4x1 relay. So
let me ask.
If I move to the side, you will see the medals hanging on the door.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and get that man. Mama, show it to him. Yeah.
Bring that over.
Yeah,
see what
that's
is.
proof right there.
Yeah, that's
So-
just track.
So we're talking from a perspective of an athlete who has shown prowess. He shows giftedness. He shows that, you know what, this is something that I am great and good at. So what in the world would have been a problem, or what would have been a complication or challenge with him being able to demonstrate, being able to showcase his gifts? And what were some of those challenges, man, that you went through, specifically talking out of moving from middle school into high school? Let's unravel a little bit of that, because this is probably the most important part of why this podcast exists. Go for it.
Right, so again, I just told y'all how good of an athlete he is, and they know it from junior high. So we moved to Arlington from Dallas. So as soon as we get out here, I'm gonna try to run through this real quick. We get out here, and the youth team that we were gonna play for, they ended up folding somehow. I had like 2 weeks to get him on the team. I get this call from his new school. It's a rec football league. We really ain't trying to fool with it, but he need to play ball somewhere. So they say, hey, your son transferred into the school. We heard about him from some kids. Can we get him on the team? Like, I said, okay, really don't want to do it with this league, but I sent them a video of him playing football from his previous team. It's kind of like a hype video you can find on YouTube too, because I put it on there. I sent that to him, so their coaches is like, oh man, this kid is phenomenal. He's awesome. I give them that. We get him over to the team. I noticed in practice, they got him in spots like he's starting, but we had a scrimmage. He didn't get on the field.
Okay, so tell me, what year is this?
This is 6th grade.
Sixth grade.
No, I'm sorry. This is I'm gonna say 5th and 6th grade because
Okay.
the team he got to that school 5th grade.
Okay.
So 5th and 6th grade.
Okay.
This actually no, it's 6th grade because they were getting ready to go into junior high. So 6th grade. So this is 6th grade. So you got this team, and I ain't even shady said they were not that good. They wasn't good, but it's like 7 coaches, and 5 to 6 of their sons play on the team. Right? So now we got daddy ball we trying to deal with. We just got here. He want to play a couple of guys he became friends with at school. So I'm sitting there watching it. So I'm like, okay. We get to the first couple games, my son ain't on the field. He on the sideline. So I'm sitting there like, my son is probably one of the top 3 players on this team athletically, and they don't put him in the game. I sat there and watched them put a little kid probably this tall, and I'm not lying to you, they put him on the field, starting as the safety. And he literally, they put him out there, my son is on the sideline. He's like, Coach, what do I do? They like, just stand right there. I'm saying, so you're going to put that kid on the field who in practice, my son is starting, put him on the field while my son is on the sideline. So what's funny about this is probably about the 2nd or 3rd game in, I'm starting to notice it. When people are lined up, other teams are lined up around the field because they heard about my son. They want to see what he looked like. I'm hearing these dudes standing right next to me don't know it's my son. Hey, they got that kid, man. Why didn't they use him? He's on the sideline. I'm just sitting there listening to it. I got other teams trying to see my son. They won't even play him. That right there, that was the first time I was like, okay, these guys, what's going on over here?
Yeah,
So
you used a term that said daddy ball.
Daddy ball.
And I think that's another conversation that we could talk about with parents and understanding the landscape of how the coaching game works, specifically at the Pee Wee level, moving into middle school. Let's fast forward high school. Okay,
Right.
He's going to 8th grade.
We got to go from there, though.
Okay.
Because
Talk
it's
to me.
these
Okay.
same boys.
Yeah. Talk to me.
Long story short, I ended up yanking him probably about the 4th game of that season. Now, he's playing soccer at the same time, too, so he's spending most of his time at soccer practice. I ended up yanking him. I gave the coach back his helmet, and I said, hey, man, this is not for us. And I literally told him, I said, I see what y'all doing. Y'all trying to play daddy ball with this sorry team. And I said, y'all are not preparing these boys for the next level, for junior high.
And you said that as a parent.
I said this to him as a parent. I said, y'all.
Wow.
I said, I see what y'all doing. I said, y'all are not preparing these boys for the next level. And I said, you're gonna see in junior high next year what's gonna happen. I gave him back his helmet, yanked my son out the team. It was a whole bunch of other stuff happened before and after that, but we fast forward to junior high the very next year. Them same boys now in junior high out in Arlington, they have A team, B team, and a C team, which A team being the best team. So of course my son is on that. Only about 2 of those boys is on A team with my son. Right? So we get to junior high. He's starting. Again, still the best athlete, but they still doing little stuff to him. In junior high, these other guys, these other coaches are doing that to him now. Knowing he's the best kid, again, sitting in the stands, people like, man, they need to give it to him. He's the best player. They do it to him again. So fast forward from there, we get to high school. Freshman year, I used to go out there and watch practice every morning. I could sit there and watch the whole practice. So I'm in the parking lot watching it. Freshman year, I'm watching him go through it. They again, out here in Arlington, they always have an A team and a B team, which A team being the best, and they split the kids off. So the freshman had A team and B team. So of course he makes the A team. He's playing corner and receiver. Okay, watching all summer practice, watching practice leading up to the first game. We get to the first game, we playing Denton Ryan. First freshman game. They kick it off, my son ain't on the field. So I'm like, all right, maybe they didn't want him to kick return. He gonna be out here at receiver. He ain't touching the field. I say, okay, defense going out there. He been playing both ways since he was fired. He ain't on the field.
Wait.
He don't get on the field.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. He ain't touching the field. So now I'm mad. I'm kind of mad at him because I'm like, what you doing? I've been watching practice every day. He's starting and the day before the game, all of a sudden they come halftime, he ain't touched the field yet. So now it's halftime. I'm trying to speed this up. And they finally put him in. He shut it down. Right? Get a pick. Running it for a little bit.
Yeah.
So now he gets home and I'm hot. I'm in the car like, man, what happened? He don't have an answer for me. You know, we had a conversation about this later on, but he was just like, I didn't know what happened. They didn't put him out there, not even starting. He's the best athlete on the field. But after that game, now the following game, now he's starting, but just that corner.
Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna play the opposite end. I'm going to say, as a coach, your son had a bad attitude. He wasn't listening in practice. He's a cancer to the team.
Right.
He thinks he's all of these things that you hear coaches say about a situation like this.
But see, you can't say that because I'm watching practice every day. I'm out there at the gate. Every time they call first team, he out there. And you can't say that about my son because I already know. Again, I'm telling you, I've been training my son since 3. You see what I'm saying? I know his character. I know what I put in, and plus I'm watching it.
Yeah. So none of those excuses work.
None of them excuses
Okay,
work.
here we go. Freshman year pops off.
Yep.
We move on the continuum. Okay. Talk to me about the rest of the year.
So let me. I'm gonna just clip the tail end of freshman year. So football season over. We move over into track now. Now his track coach is his corner coach. You know he can run. You know he is. It's already well documented. He's the fastest kid up there. Fastest football player you got. That coach ended up as the freshman coach. They put him on JV for the first 2 track meets. And he's faster than all these seniors. Right? So they make him run JV track. And he gets out there and completely just dominate these kids and blow them out. So the 3rd track meet, they put him on varsity. When you already knew he was faster. Fast forward through the track season, so he's running as a freshman. He's the only freshman on varsity, on their relay team. He's running 100, 200. It get to district time, right? He helps them get to district. And what's the one come out of district? What is it? District?
It's area.
Area, right?
Yeah.
So he qualifying them, right? They get to area, they pull him off the relay. Pull him off the 100 meters and put 2 boys that ain't never played, that ain't ran track all season, 2 seniors, put them on the relay team. After he helps them qualify for area, pull him. Let them guys run. This is the same his DB coach. So I'm sitting there saying, like, why you pull him? Like, he's your guy. Pull him. Don't know why they did it. He upset. They pull him.
And I can tell, man, just as you're talking about this story, like, I still feel the energy.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel the energy because, man, at that time, as a parent, you just aren't getting an understanding of why.
Why?
I mean, and unfortunately, as coaches, you get this ego about you that's, I know best and I'm not. But if a parent comes and asks you a question of why,
right,
at least give them something.
And
Did you get anything?
No, I didn't. And that why is going to come back later on in the story when you get to asking why. I've always told my son, hey, man, go stand on it, man. Or go ask a question. If you feel like you need to ask, don't be disrespectful. But you should go ask why. Like, what's going on, coach? Like, that came back to bite him in the butt later on, too.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Freshman year clip, we get that going. Sophomore year.
Right.
He got to be slated to start number 1.
So
he got to be.
He is. So after track, we hit soccer too. So he ended up killing it in soccer also. So they begging him. So actually they were arguing about, because soccer and track was running, they was arguing about what day he was going to go to soccer practice and what day he was going to come to track. But that's how good he is. But anyway, fast forward to that. So that's done. They didn't even know. Usually if anybody who's coaching and y'all play football, y'all know they usually take some young kids and bring them up to varsity for playoffs. Right? They'll pick a couple young ones, bring them to varsity. They didn't do that to him. This is after freshman year. They like, well, we'll call you if we want you to come up. So every day I just say, hey man, just show your face around the thing. They might pull you in and let you play varsity. Now they don't never really put the young ones in, but they let you suit up. He wanted to suit up and be a part of varsity. They didn't let him do that. They picked some other kids who ain't even touched the field. And he been on it, but they picked some other kids. So they made him wait until the summer. Then he found out he was going to be on varsity after freshman year.
So here we go. We find out I'm on varsity. I'm a sophomore. I'm ready to go.
Yep.
I'm on varsity.
Yep.
2 days roll around. We get ready for school. Go.
2 days roll around. Again, I'm out there with the binoculars, watching practice every day. I'm dropping him off to strength and conditioning in the summers. He ain't missed nothing. Sophomore year now, he did have a couple of studs up there that was playing corner too, but they felt he was good enough to move him to varsity. He beat out probably 3 or 4 juniors. Them kids had to stay on JV and they moved him. So he was the only, as far as DB's corners, he was the sophomore. Everybody else was juniors and seniors. So there was no other sophomore DB. So he's on varsity. He playing, and we get to the first game. It was Lake Travis in Austin. You know, I'm expecting him to be like, okay, he may not start. These guys been starting for 2 years since they sophomore year. But surely he going to be on kickoff return starting because he's the fastest football player and he can go. Now I'm watching him in practice all this. We get to the first game, he's not on kickoff return. In fact, he's like third on the depth chart for kickoff return. They just got him out there trying to block extra points and field goals. That's all he did. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's first game. Because I'll be honest, the coach did say, hey, man, we're playing Lake Travis, state-ranked team. You're probably not going to see much time. I expected that for that game. He said, don't.
But he communicated.
He did say, and Xavier told me, he did say, hey, man, don't be expecting to start the whole game. It's just not going to happen. I'm cool with that, right? Because he is still kind of small at this time. So, but he was out there on special team. They used him on kickoff team and punt blocks and stuff like that. So, needless to say, we did that. So, now as the season going, they bringing him in like 3 minutes left in the quarter. You know, one of the boys go down and they give him a breather, they bring him in. Just little stuff like that. This is sophomore year. So I'm like, okay. He's starting to get a little bit more playing time. But then after that, you know, we killing people so bad. So now he playing a whole half. He getting some playing time. So, but, you know, they ain't throwing it at him, though. So it's like, man, he upset because he ain't getting no action.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you're a sophomore, you're out there. They ain't throwing it to your side. Don't worry about it. Do what you can do.
Okay. So we have, in your mind, his sophomore campaign or year.
Yeah.
What would you rate that as far as productivity? A, B, or C?
He could have been. I was okay because I say you the young boy coming in, and he had to battle some juniors, so he beat them out, and it was giving him a little bit of. He was getting some shine, a little. I won't even say shine because they made sure he didn't get shine, but he was out there. You know, they had some packages that he was included in with the first team, so it was okay.
Then it seems like there's an upward progression.
Right.
You go from freshman, to sophomore, okay. Yeah. So junior year, all right, this gotta be the year.
So let me tell you the bridge between that. So now we getting into camps and stuff now. So after freshman year, okay, we hit the camp. So we call it camp season. June rolling around. We done went to Baylor, SMU, TCU.
This is freshman year.
No, this is going into sophomore year.
Okay.
We went to the camps before junior year.
Gotcha.
So we hit the camp circuit, right? We done showcased him. He's grown a little bit. He's gotten better now. They communicated with me a little bit because we went down to Texas Tech because they called for him. And then the coaches was like, oh, yeah, man, we expect him to do some big things this year. I mean, we want him here. If we wasn't at that school, they calling for him. Hey, man, get up. Where you at? They making sure he there. So they talking as if, okay.
This is the year.
Yeah, man, we going to need him. He going to play a big part of what we doing. I'm like, cool. I want to say to be clear with this. After freshman year, Xavier said, Dad, I need to transfer. I say, why, bro? He's like, man, because I can see where it's going. I say, nah, man, you going to be all right. Just you going to stick it out. He did say, I think we need to get out of here. But I'm like, nah, we going to get out there. So, because they acting like he about to play a really big part. So, get the junior year. This is summer. I'm watching it again. I'm watching practices. He on the first team kick return. He getting in that corner. He doing all this. And here we go. Nationally televised game. Now Lake Travis comes to us. We're on ESPN. Day before the game, I'm watching practice. He on the sideline.
The whole,
every time they call first team, he not out there. Now, mind you, I've been watching the whole summer, the depth chart. He going out there, kick return. He doing all this. If nothing else, I'm not gonna say he was 100% starting corner, but kick return, he was on the thing, slated to start. Day before the game, they going through walkthroughs. He's not touching it. So game time come. He sees the game, and you can YouTube the whole game. They put him in 2 seconds before halftime. They literally walked. It was 2 seconds on the clock. He got on the field, got ready to line up. It was a bad play, so they had to restart the play. Clock run out. He run into the locker room.
I'm your host, Coach Gaff. I got our co-host here, CB, who is going to continue the conversation we've had. So if you don't know where we are, I suggest you go back to episode 1. So pick it up. We're not going to give it to you because you got to go watch the episode.
Yeah, so picking back up. So again, nationally televised game, they stick him in 2 seconds before halftime. So they go into halftime, he never come back on the field again. I don't see him on the field no more. Now, I done call people, hey, man, he going to be on ESPN. Nothing. They calling me, man, where you at? What number you wearing? He ain't even on ESPN. Nothing. So this goes on for the next 4 games. They did not put him on the field. So he's really upset. He's coming
Wait. This is a kid who has college coaches asking about him.
Asking about him already.
This is a kid who they all summer long gassed it up as, hey man, we gonna put this. This is gonna be a guy we need this guy. We are putting packages behind. All of this stuff.
Yep.
And for 5 games of the season, he doesn't see
the first 4. So
it was Lake Travis.
It was Lake Travis.
And then 3 others.
And then 3 others. Now,
Right.
So he don't see it. In matter of fact, Cedar Hill was the 4th non-district game. He went in at halftime and he called from his cell phone. They ain't supposed to be on the phone, but he called Dad. He texted me. Actually, he didn't call. He texted like, Dad, just leave. And I'm like, what for? He was like, man, they not gonna put me in. You can just go home. I'm not gonna play. He's frustrated. He's like, man, how long they gonna keep this up? I said, man, listen, as long as you suited up and in this stadium, I'm not leaving. I said, you just need to be ready to go just in case somebody go down. They gotta put you in.
Wow.
You need to get ready to play. He's like, Dad, nah, man, just go. I'm like, I'm not leaving. You in this stadium, I'm here. So they come out halftime. They kick it off to them. Probably 5 minutes into the 3rd quarter, they finally let him in the game. Right? They let him in. Now, let me jump back 2 games prior to that. I saw him come out of halftime. I saw his defensive coordinator. Hey, you going in the game. Defensive coordinator sent him in the game. Soon as he stepped on the field, head coach walked by, take him off. So I'm literally watching this happen. Coach, get him off the field. Xavier walked off with his head down. Right? That's 2 games prior to this.
Okay, so I'm going to put a pause right here because I think this is important because I can hear the coaches in there, the kid had to be doing something wrong, or at least the dad was acting belligerent. He on the sideline cussing us out, not letting us do our job. So now we got to make sure that we're doing and covering ourselves because we got this dad who's doing the most and not allowing us to do our job as coaches.
Now, you can't say that because I never not once had a conversation with them yet. I've not talked to them.
So you've stayed back.
I've stayed back. It's the 3rd or 4th game, and I'm watching my son be treated a certain way. Now, let me take y'all because I skipped it, how we got here. So that Lake Travis game, the national game that I was telling y'all about ESPN, and they waited till the day before that game during the walkthrough to pull him off. He goes over and say, hey, coach. I tell him, ask why. He goes to one coach, hey, coach, why am I not there? It's not my call, man. Go ask Coach so-and-so. He walk over to Coach so-and-so. Hey, coach, what's going on, man? Like, why? Hey, man, you need to go ask Coach so-and-so. They keep telling him to go to coach. Now he getting upset. Like, what 15, 16-year-old kid, now he's starting to feel like, hey, man, what's going on? Ain't nobody telling me nothing. He get to, like, the 4th coach. Say, hey, coach, what's going on? Hey, man, it ain't my call. Now he's upset, so now he told me what he said. Like, what's going on, coach? I done came to about 5 of y'all. One of y'all want to tell me what's going on, what's happening. One coach say, see, like really they don't want to put you on there because your attitude bad. Now, where'd you come with attitude though? Like, oh, well, the coach, they didn't come to find out, they didn't like the way he was fielding the ball on kickoff return because he come up on his tiptoes when he catch. Now, mind you, he ran 2 to 3 kicks back freshman year, catching it the same way. That's not enough to me.
Okay.
Right, so you're going to take me off before a national game because I catch the ball on my tiptoe. That's what they said to him.
Okay.
That's what they smoked, they blew to him. But you wait, and he's like, why you wait till the day before the game to do that, though? You see what I'm saying? So that's how we got to that. But anyway, fast forward back, we get to that game against Cedar Hill.
Yep.
He called me from halftime, trying to get me to leave. I wait. He get on the field about 5 minutes into the 3rd quarter. He played the whole quarter. Yeah. That's the 4th game. Now, after that, they start bringing him in like it's 3 minutes left in the game. Then they put him out there when they done pull the starters. Stuff like that, or they trying to get this guy out to breathe. So, in a nutshell, these guys wasted my son's whole junior year. Just wasted it on some BS.
Wow.
Now y'all building it up to, oh, he got a bad attitude, or maybe he think he know. I don't know. I never talked to him. I never got one phone call from them guys. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say this. This is what I think happened because, again, he was running track like I told y'all. They made it to regionals. But we also had, this is going on during spring ball. So you got spring football going, but he's running track, so they're in regionals.
Okay.
So they being real careful with the track guys.
Okay.
So he calls me. We got a trip going to Texas Tech that next day. Actually, this is a Thursday. We're going to Texas Tech Saturday morning.
Okay, hold on. I'm lost on a second.
Okay.
I want to make sure everybody else is where we need to be. We finished our junior year.
No.
We are moving into junior year.
No, we're in junior year.
We're in junior year.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's
Because you mentioned.
No. I'm lying. Let me fix that.
Yeah, you good.
We're going into junior year because this is sophomore year. This is the first. We were going to Texas Tech for a visit because they called for him.
Okay,
But
so
he's in track.
sophomore year.
Sophomore year,
We
yeah.
finished the season.
We finished the season.
We're now in the spring of his sophomore year.
Yeah, he's running track.
And he's running track, and now they're in spring ball.
Right. So now, mind you, this head coach is friends with the Texas Tech head coach.
Okay.
Right. So Xavier did make a mistake here. So he was so excited about that Texas Tech trip. We were leaving. At that time, I didn't know we were going to leave Friday and go down there or just leave Saturday morning. I went ahead and made the decision, no, we're going to go ahead and leave Saturday morning and go to Texas Tech so you don't miss nothing at school. But he ends up calling me, hey, Dad, I'm up here watching football practice. They kind of don't want the track guys, running around. So they try. And man, in my head, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. They trying to get to regionals. I said, but you need to stay there. He asked me to pick him up. I'm like, no, you need to stay so you can still know what's going on in football. The way Martin's running the track team is the football team. But anyway, he makes a mistake with that. He's so excited about the Texas Tech trip to where he don't go to practice that day. He gets home about 7 o'clock. This is the only time I've talked to the head coach from there. That head coach calls me. Now, I already told y'all, if he's not there, then they call him for him. But if he ain't that good, y'all wouldn't be doing that. So I get a call about 7 o'clock. It's the head coach of Martin. Hey, man, I'm just letting you know Xavier didn't come to practice today. And I'm like, he called me from there. He was just like, well, he's supposed to be an important part of the team. He's not a regular guy like the rest of these guys. We expect big things out of him. And he didn't go. He said something about y'all, we know y'all going to Texas Tech. I said, yeah, but we're not leaving there Saturday. Now, mind you, I'm kind of in loss too because I'm like, I already told him where we going.
Right.
So he's like, well, me and that guys, and they were tight friends. And he's like, I just wanted to let you know that he didn't come to practice, and that's not cool that he did that. But this is what he said to me. He's like, well, usually when they get in trouble, we punish them a certain way, and I'm just not gonna do that. But he just needs to know next time not to make these type of mistakes. I said, all right, coach. I hang up with him. I have a conversation with Xavier. We go to the trip. Okay. Last I ever heard of it, he said he wasn't gonna punish. I told Xavier, I said he's not gonna let that slide. He's gonna punish you.
Okay.
I said I don't know when.
So then we move. We do the camps. We smashing it. We finish up track. Everything done. Now we come back for junior year. So we coming back. Now get back to where I said. I'm watching practice. He going through it. He's on these teams, kick return. Then it happens. So we fast back forward to the game where they put him in at halftime. So after that, and I started thinking, I'm like, I said, remember I told you he was gonna punish you? And you went and asked all them coaches why you not on kick return no more. It turned into you having a bad attitude. I said, that's how he got you. When you ask why, they don't want you to ask why. Just do what I told you to do. I'm the head coach. I don't want you on kick return. And what's funny, the head coach ran the special teams kick return. So you know he punished him. Okay.
So he asked that. When I told y'all, ask why, they don't want you to ask why. Just do what I told you to do. So they punished him his whole junior year for asking why. One of their best athletes, they rather put a kid out there that they want out there than the kid that's best for the position.
Yeah, bro. I remember you telling me this story about there was a wide receiver or something that was a sophomore.
So they took a sophomore wide receiver that's never played corner or defense his whole life. He's a wide receiver. That kid is playing quarterback for him right now. They won't let him play his position. And it's going to hurt him in the long run, mark my words. They won't let him play his natural position. The kid he's a good athlete. The kid is a good athlete, but what they did, they took a sophomore wide receiver and they took a senior wide receiver and put both of them guys in at corner where my son should have been. Where they had to replace him with two guys. And I literally heard them say, look, just stand there and backpedal in front of that guy. They took two offensive players and put them in that corner where Xavier should have been.
So, here it is. You've now recognized this is the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay? Because of, and this is where the full circle happens, and this is why I want to get to this point, because this is really where I hope to encourage parents, where I also hope that some coaches who are watching this are listening, and instead of listening with your ego, listen with a person personalizing an athlete. You have a 16-year-old kid who has worked his entire life at that point, 4 to 16, 12 years of his life on athletics, doing all those things. And then when asking a question of why, it turns into a personal vendetta. It turns into a you got a bad attitude. I wonder if there's something to be checked there. We'll move forward.
Yeah.
So now, at what point do you take matters in your own hands, and from there, what do you do? Because you still have college coaches looking at them.
Right.
So talk me through that process.
So we went to the Texas Tech camp. That was sophomore year going. So I know now. I see how this is going now. They trying to hide him behind these other kids, right? So I say, okay, this is how we're gonna do it then. Since the way they going, if I rely on them, he's never gonna get seen. He's never gonna get seen.
And mind you, by the way, this is a Division I caliber athlete.
Absolutely.
How? How do you know that?
Absolutely. Because we already put in the work, and plus we put him in front of Division I coaches. We know, and we're talking to them. They're in the inbox. They're calling. Hey, where were you at? Were you hurt last year or something? No, coach, I've been here. They already asking. The coaches at the high school don't know that yet, though. But we talking to them. We already on. You know what I'm saying? So I said, okay, what we're gonna do now? We're gonna hit the camp circuit again.
And this is junior year.
This is junior year. Okay. This is actually going in. This is right when it's over. Camp season usually started by June.
Okay.
So after they did all that, the first camp we hit was the Texas Tech, and then we hit SMU on a Friday, and then we backdoored it with TCU the next morning. So we hit it Friday morning. We was at SMU. Then the next morning we was at TCU. Okay. So we go to SMU camp. He killed it. Fastest man at the camp. They do his 40, and that's documented too. If you want to test it, 4.3. He ran that. He ran that on Friday. Killed the camp. Saturday morning, it's a mega camp. So this is at the beginning of the mega camp. This is like the second year they did it. So the next morning, them same coaches come to TCU. What he do? He go out there. He kill it again. Now, mind you, he playing corner, but he also doing wide receiver stuff too.
Okay.
So he killed both days, right? First offer, K-State. Division I, Power 5.
First offer.
Very first offer, K-State. Coach Van Malone gave him his first offer. Look that up too. It's documented.
Okay.
So we get the first offer. Okay. So again, I told y'all he D1. They trying to hide me. So I already done peeled. Okay, they gonna keep doing my son like this. We're not for to have that going into senior year. So I put him in front of everybody. After we did that, we posted his first offer. Once we get that offer, then we got other schools knocking the door. Okay, hey man, this kid, where were you last year? Like, what was happening? Long story, coach. I didn't even badmouth him to the coaches.
No, wait. Chris, you can't be telling the truth, man. After all of that,
I didn't even say nothing.
You didn't say anything to any of those?
Nope. We just
on record.
I just told Zay we just gonna go do this work.
On record.
So we get this offer, right? We get back to school. I asked them, like, all the kids is like, hey man, some of the kids, because we can get into that too. Hey man, congrats on that. Not one coach said, hey man, congratulations on your offer. Matter of fact, no, I'll tell you what, that same corner coach that was his freshman year, that I told y'all that he ran track for, that put him on JV the first 2 years and messed him off, that coach had left the high school. He's now, he's probably gone a month from the high school. He's now coaching at North Texas. He was there and saw the offer. My son walked over to him. Hey man, I can't talk to you right now. He didn't even say congrats. You just left my son 4 weeks ago. You didn't even congratulate him. Didn't say, hey man, good job, man. Not one of his coaches said, hey man, good job on your first offer. But I'll get on Twitter and see them post a JUCO kid. Oh, I got an offer from a JUCO. Your boy just got a Power 5 offer. You ain't say nothing to him. Not to him. But the other kids, hey man, more to come. It's a JUCO though. Not to say nothing bad about them kids, because school is school, but you ain't trying to get him none though. So that's what I did. We started hitting the camp. So now we buzzing himself. You know what I'm saying? We buzzing ourselves. Now let me tell you this though. We have when I say team, and we're gonna get into this later. I might need to hold it to you. I'm gonna hold it till we get into that. Because I don't want y'all to think it was just me solely. It was me. But I got a team.
Here it is. Yeah.
So we put him in front of everybody. So now we get fast forward. We getting ready to come into the season, right? This is COVID going this junior year. Now, he did get to a spot to where he was supposed to start a game. We were playing Southlake. I think they were expecting him to be starting that game. We got COVID. I pulled him. 2 days before the game, I said, man, I can't let you go out there. He was upset about it, but I pulled him. I don't think they like that too much. So now you got the thing he did when we went to Texas Tech, and then you got me pulling him 2 days before the game.
Mind you,
they needed
because it's COVID.
It's COVID.
Mind you, because you're trying to keep your son safe.
I was this close to letting him play because he had no symptoms. None. But he came back positive. I thought I was doing the right thing.
You were.
And
doing
thinking back
the right
now,
thing.
I probably would have, we talk about it now, I probably would have been like, man, just go play, dude. And it probably would have turned out a lot different, but I think that made him upset if Xavier told it to me, right? See, he'd never tell me stuff when it happened. He'll tell me months or a year later.
Okay.
But I think he was slated to, they got the one kid that was over there, so he's the stud. Okay. He's starting. They had the other kid was pretty good too. They was moving him to safety so Xavier can get into that corner spot. But I think they were setting up for that, and that didn't happen, so they had to revamp the game. Needless to say, we ended up losing to South Lake by this much. But anyway, I had to pull him. So we get into all that, man. So I think that played a part in of it too. But anyway, I put him in front of everybody. So now, what's happening now is you starting to get phone calls about it, or people inquiring about it. This is what I'm thinking. They never said it. I don't know if they did. But I know we was getting calls saying, hey, what's the head coach's phone number? He don't have any Twitter. We can't get to him. I started giving him his phone number. They call coach. They asking me. I know I'm giving the number out. We never heard nothing back. You see what I'm saying? So to me, you getting phone calls about my son, but you're not saying nothing about it.
Interesting.
But see, now you try to hide him. But see, you can't hide him now because I done put him in front of everybody. So now you got to keep playing the game. So now I told Xavier, I said, man, we put you in front of everybody. They asking us for the phone number. We gave the phone number. They got to answer for that. What they going to say?
Yeah.
Like, they calling for you. They got to answer. Like, man, we saw this kid at this camp. He play on your team. Why don't we see him? We never had, again, I never talked to him.
So here we go. Let's fast forward just a little bit because we're going to land this plane to how this relates to why this started. Okay. So, senior year, does what he does, whatever catch me. I'm going to assume that the attention that was garnished was not solely because of what was happening on the football field. What was happening on the football field may have aided, but really what was happening is what the work was done prior to the senior year even starting. Right. So regardless of what the senior year looked like, the work had already been put in place. It ended up, at the end of it all, how many offers did your boy get?
He had over 25 D1 offers.
Over 25 Division I offers.
No help from his high school coach. They didn't have a hand in not one of them. Not one. And that's because, again, the reason for this whole thing is I figured out, like, okay, I'm going to have to go get after this myself because ain't going to be no help from them guys. Them guys is not here for the best interest of my son. They can care less of what he do. You know what I'm saying? As long as he's playing for them, now he ended up starting, but it was a situation where we got to play him because, like, he's our best corner. We're going to have to. You know what I'm saying? And they played the game a little bit senior too. Didn't put him on kickoff return at the beginning. Then he finally get on there. He taking stuff to the crib.
So look, when he's given an opportunity, when he's given an inch of an opportunity, he shows his prowess.
He show it. You know what I'm saying? And they just, any little thing that they could do to him, and this is back to the whole thing. My son, everybody know these numbers is special to these kids, right? If you look around his room, this number 7, he been number 7 since he was 5 years old. Okay, he was told to Martin, hey, seniors got it. I understand seniority. You're going to have to wait. So he wore 7 freshman year. He got it. One game, his jersey mysteriously disappeared. He had to wear 13 in the game. Okay. Probably about the 4th or 5th game through the season. We don't know where the jersey is. Okay. Come to find out, it was a B team JV player wearing it for practice. Come to find that out. So I was like,
game jersey.
A game jersey is being worn in practice by a B team kid.
Okay.
Right, so that happened, right? So that happened one time in junior high too. Okay. But anyway, I'm just showing y'all how we get back to that. So everybody knows they been one number 7. Hey man, you got 2 seniors in front of you. They wearing it. Your senior year, they got rules. So you gotta be a returning starter. You a senior. All these rules. But now when it's his turn, he become a senior. Them don't apply no more. So we're in Florida at Florida State. We're up there at camp and visiting. We're at Florida State on a visit. So they calling everybody asking what number they want. He never gets that call. We get back from Florida State, he get to school, they go to the practice, they like, hey man, you might want to go talk to coach because I think they gave your number to somebody. So we come to find out that kid, the coach called him, and this kid's supposed to be one of Xavier's friends. Hey man, what number you want? I want number 5. Nah, I think you want number 7, man. Nah, coach, I want this. Nah, I think you deserve number 7. You forced this. You know my son want that number. He waited 2 years to get it. You know what I'm saying? You give this little. I'm just telling y'all that just little game that they play.
And that's
little mind game.
And I think that's important to understand as it relates to context, because all of this adds up to that athlete's experience.
Yeah.
Mind you, we are still talking about a high school young man who some would say a kid, who's experiencing all of these different situations and now having to figure out how to navigate them when he just wants to play ball.
That's all he wanted to do. So
all of that said, we're going to move forward. He gets 25 offers. He ends up graduating early, going to his school that he's at now, being successful as an incoming enrolled as an income freshman. He gets in early, things of that sort.
We went early.
So then let's move to.
Let me. I know we moving to it, but let me tell you, it didn't stop there. They kept this up until they tried to do it. We found out we taking home visits from college coaches. These coaches get in my living room and tell me that now they don't switch head coaches by now. After his junior year, this coach leave. He go to a college. He ain't no longer training there, coaching there no more. But the new coach, I told my son, I said, hey man, he seemed cool, but I'm not keen on none of these guys up there. Come to find out, we get 2 visits from the college coaches that told us that they said that he had character issues, bad attitude. I was wondering because a couple schools, they call and ask for the coach phone number. We about to offer you, but we're going to go through the coach just to be respectful. Come to find out, we wouldn't hear from him though. Come to find out, they had told about 4 schools that he had a bad attitude. Now he done already getting ready to graduate early. He ain't even playing no more, and y'all still throwing a little salt on him because
this is November-ish.
This is November-ish, okay?
He's about to graduate in a month. Still offers rolling in.
Still rolling in. That coach sat here and told us what he said. No, your coach. Now they said you had a bad attitude, man. Your character issue. What's up with that? And I'm sitting there. I wanted to blow my top, but I was just like, man, come on, man. So we're gonna get to it, but I'm just leading y'all to where it is. All of this is gonna make sense when we get to it. So he tell us that, right? The next coach tells us the same thing. So we go on an official visit to a school up in Utah. We get back on a Tuesday, and a big school, BYU, is at the school to meet my son. And we talking to him in the hallway. Head coach walked up. His first word was, oh man, when did this happen? That's his first words, not, hey, how you doing? When did this happen? This coach had a nerve to come up to me and ask me about the other school. I'm going to say who it was. Hawaii was here. Hawaii's the one who told me that, Hawaii's one of the schools that told me that the coach said he had a bad attitude. So while we're at the school talking to BYU coach, that high school head coach walks up, hey man, what happened with Hawaii, man? Like I don't know. He don't know that I already know what he said. You know, hey, what happened with Hawaii, man? Oh, coach, we looking at it, we doing this and this and this. Okay, yeah. He don't even know that I know that he was throwing salt on my son.
So, out of all of that, you get your boy successfully across the stage.
Yep.
You get him enrolled in school. He ends up having a great transition from January 2024, I believe.
Right. Let me finish. It's signing day. Okay. It's early signing day, December 20th. Early signing day. There's only 2 kids signing, which is my son and one of his closest friends. He went to USC. My son signed at his school he at now. Now, the head coach was in there. He introduced both the boys, and he walked away. Not one coach on staff came in there to congratulate the boy. Not one. We were in there for a good 2 hours. Not one, and their office is right outside the room we was meeting in. Not one of them came in there to say, hey man, room full of the football players, parents, friends. Not one of them came in there.
So as you can see, that part of this is a conversation to talk about what that looks like from a parent's perspective. How does that feel as a parent? And none of the coaches that I've ever been able, I've had an opportunity to coach for a number of different teams, a number of different programs, things of that sort. But from a coach's perspective, you can see how a parent may feel some type of way if this is their child's experience. So then, in the process of this all happening, myself and CB would get on the phone and talk, and we would just talk, and we would talk, and I would really try to be there to be just a listening ear, because I'm noticing what this is doing in real time to him and to Zay. So at some point, we started to say, you know what, man, this is probably the experience of a number of different people. And something, we should do something with this experience. All of this challenge, all of this hardship, all of the things that you experience has to serve someone else in some type of way, which led us to this conversation here. I'm going to go back and say, this is the reason why this podcast is existing. It's because we recognize that it's important that athletes are surrounded with a support system to be the most successful they can be. So you had mentioned a team. Run me down real quick his team that you surrounded him around, because now we're over and done with that. Mm-hmm. We moved past that. We're on the bigger and better things. So what was the team that got him ready for this moment?
So obviously myself is there.
As what?
As the parent / coach, trainer, stay right here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So obviously you're talking about school work, all that stuff. So myself, we met a guy one day. Again, I told you I've been training my son since he was 2 and 3. We were doing some work up at the school. He had to be 5th, 6th grade. I saw a guy out there with another kid. I'm thinking it's his son. He turned out he was a trainer, right? He was a corner trainer. So he was training a high school kid at that time. So I was like, hey, my son a corner. I know he's young. You mind if we come over here with you? Nah, he started coaching him up.
Okay, so that's 4.
Right, that's his trainer, his corner coach outside of school.
Okay.
This is his trainer, DB coach. Got it? That guy has a brother. Does the same thing. So that's that.
That's 5 on the team.
That's 5 on the team. You see what I'm saying? So now we kept it right there. Okay. So them 2 guys, it's Coach O and Coach J.O., 365 training. Them 2 guys, man, they seen it. They seen him since he was 5, 6. They already knew what he could do. So them 2 guys, man, with the work they put in with him, man, spending that time with him, going to camps, taking us to schools, man, the phone calls, the connections they got. That's how we was able to put that together.
Wow.
You know what
I'm saying? So you had those 5 individuals. Yep. Any person or persons that were helping maybe with tutoring or helping moving as this things was happening, you were attacking him from all different angles and working with him. I know my relationship was I felt like was a little unique, and so where I started to come in that situation and talk to me about that. Let me let you get that.
Yeah, no, I'm adding him into that because now he's like, okay, this is the aspect that I can help in that. I'm not going to even come from this side. I'm coming from because that's a lot to go through. So he's like, I'm going to come from the mental side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to come from the side of, let him have some systems in play. What type of systems he can have? Like, that led for him checking in with him, phone calls, having them set up a calendar, just checking in with him, just little stuff outside of that is going to help him prepare a little bit past football and sports, but the preparation of different stuff that he could do. So you had him in the team, that's kind of where we came to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just, you got a young kid going through all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? And still having the prowess enough to know, can I say there was times he probably did want to quit. Yeah. I wasn't going to allow it, though, because I'm like, nah, you're not going to let them steal your joy from that.
Wow,
we done worked too hard.
You're not going to let them steal your joy.
We're not going to let them take your love for the game away.
Wow.
We're not going to quit it because now if that first head coach would have been there senior year, I was trying to figure out a way to get him out of there. I was like, he will not play for that guy again. But he ended up leaving. They got the new guy. I said, we could finish it off his senior year. We ain't trying to transfer now. We're gonna stick with that. But the team, back to that, is like, if I would have had something like that when I was going through, like I told y'all, when my stuff didn't work out, you end up with a little depression because you don't have anybody there to kind of steer you. Like, hey man, I know that's happening to you. We still see the bigger picture. Yeah. We still see where we're headed. We can't let that derail you.
Yeah.
So me knowing what I went through and what recognizing later on in life, that I was kind of going through a depression of it, I was determined not to let that happen to him.
And I think that's a good point to put in, because that's where I feel that my contribution could be most valuable, because of my experience of coaching for 17 plus years at various programs, 4-time state champion as a coach and player, and understanding I've also coached on teams that were 0-10 a couple of seasons. So understanding how all of those things in 2017, I decided to make a transition. I'm still coaching, but I at the point lost 5 athletes, 2 to prison, 3 to death. And I started to recognize the mental aspect of how this is affecting kids, how it affected us as coaches when we're going through different things. So I started my paradigm shift, and I was like, you know what? I love showing up for athletes the way I've been doing as a personal coach, position coach, even as a head coach at a point in track. But something else has to happen. And that mental aspect is what I dove straight into. So from that moment on, I started to do the work to show up, to be able to learn and give tier 1 universal support to mental aspects of not only mental health, but also the game, and helping athletes parallel what they're learning in football to life, how they're learning and using lessons for life to help them through challenges that they're going through. So all of that centered around is how we want to show up for parents, how we want to show up for athletes, how we want to have conversation. I know from the conversation that was just had, real life stuff happening. There may be somebody that feels some type of way. Come on and let's talk about it. You have an opportunity to give your perspective if you feel like it was different. But I think these conversations need to happen, because we are setting our athletes up for failure if we're not addressing this from all ends and all spectrums. So one last thing before we cut off, we got 1 minute. What is something that you hope that we gain, have opportunities to use this platform for?
Info, man. Just for parents who don't know. Or you might have the single mom, dad not there, or you got the dad who probably don't know. Man, I just got my son out here. They tell me he play football. He good. They say he might go to college. They ain't pushing him though. I don't know where else to go. Outside of that, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
That's what this for. They're gonna give you that insight on maybe you're not getting that support from the school like you should. Our goal is to try to help you do it on your own, so to speak, or know what to do and get the info on it. So just kind of enlighten you on what to do.
Yeah, educational, like my man said. So the thing I hope to gain from this is, as I talk to you about that squad mentality, there are various individuals that are part of this team that was able to help assist. He did the work. Nothing against what Zay did on and off the field, in the classroom, all of this, but he was surrounded by a support system to help make him successful. And so I hope to continue to have conversations with those pieces of individuals who help make him successful. Last thing before we get out of here, one more time, where do the people find you? How can they get in contact with you if they're interested in learning a little bit more?
So you can go, it's Arlington Elite Training. If you go to the Instagram or my Twitter, Mr. Chris Brown 37, Mr. Chris Brown 81 on Instagram. So I'll be on there.
Yeah, the man Chris Brown. Y'all call him the real, just the dancer dude. I call him the man. Yeah. Call him the man Chris Brown. Yeah. Same. I appreciate you all. Social media wise, we'll get to that in a second, get all of that stuff. The biggest thing that I want you to know from this is we have a heart to want to help. We also have experiences that may be able to influence and impact, and we want to use that for the greater good. Till next time, it's the squad signing off. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the